Hello everyone and welcome to a really wild game that was played in 1889 between Emanuel Lasker and Sergey Ivanovich Polner. Now, probably you've heard of Lasker as he's the second official FIDE World Chess Champion, and he was not the world champion when this game was played. He became world champion some 5 years after this game, but he's facing a most unusual opponent, and this is a simultaneous exhibition, so Lasker is playing multiple opponents here, and of course he doesn't really think much of his opponent, and Lasker was some 21 years of age here, whereas his opponent Polner was 28, but I couldn't find any photos where they were really young. So a few words about Sergey Ivanovich Polner, as like I said, I remember when I was reading some chess books long time ago and I saw this game. I was really amazed by it, but I had no idea who this gentleman was, and I had no idea that it was actually played in a simultaneous exhibition game. So I will put a link in the description below. The first link you see will lead you to a very nice article about Sergey here, so you can read a little bit more about him. But just a few words. He was born in Oranienbaum in 1861. He was exiled from the USSR in 1922 and ended up in Germany. He became a professor of mathematics at the Russian gymnasium in Berlin, headed the financial department at the Vataga publishing house, then moved to Paris, where he died on July 13, 1929. So that's a little bit info about this gentleman in short. Now let's check out this game and why it's so impressive. So Lasker has the white pieces, as one usually does when holding a simultaneous exhibition, and opens with e4. We have e5 by Polner, knight to c3. That's not a knight. Sorry about that. Lasker goes for the Vienna game, knight c3, and now knight to f6. We have g3 by Lasker, and knight to c6, and bishop to g2. We have bishop to c5, and now knight to g to e2, preparing the castle. And this is all still being played today, so these two know what they're doing. So d6, preparing to develop the light square bishop, and now h3, taking away the g4 square from black's pieces, bishop to e6, and now knight to d5. And the knight is on an excellent square here. You cannot trade knight for knight, because then you just lose a piece. So here a lot of moves are possible. For example, some of the more popular moves today are queen to d7, even bishop to d7, then preparing to capture knight with knight. But in those days, Polner just captured bishop captures on d5, and it's as of move 7 that this position has never been reached again. We have pawn captures on d5 and knight to e7 with a double attack on the d5 pawn, so Lasker strengthens his presence in the center. He plays c4 and queen to d7, developing the queen. Now kingside and queenside castles are possible. And Lasker strikes in the center with d4. We have e captures, knight captures, now getting his other knight in the center of the board, and now Polner just castles. We have castles by Lasker, and now knight to f5. And here he's offering a trade of knights. Of course, he wants to get his queen to a more active square, and Lasker should not capture this knight, but it's a simultaneous exhibition game, and Lasker doesn't really obviously think much of his opponent, so he just goes for it. We have knight captures, queen captures, and bishop to d2 now, preparing to shift the bishop over to c3 to transfer it to this long diagonal. And now knight to e4, and now this f2 pawn is attacked 3 times, and you really shouldn't allow that. Here Lasker should just play something like bishop captures on e4, queen captures, and then offer a queen trade maybe, and continue playing this game. However, Lasker just played king to h2, thinking that he will be able to, well, take advantage of this whole rook and queen action going on the f file. So Polner captures, knight captures on f2, and now the queen is under attack, so queen to b3 now, going after the b7 pawn. And like I said, the knight cannot move, as you would simply lose the queen. So queen h5, unpinning, but it's very unclear what the queen is actually doing on h5. So here, Lasker should definitely go queen f3, try and trade off queens, and say, okay, I'm down a pawn, I'm going to try and hold this endgame, I am Lasker after all. However, Lasker wants to win all of the games. He goes queen captures on b7, and then now comes rook 8 to b8, attacking Lasker's queen. Lasker grabs another pawn, and now rook captures on b2. And now finally Lasker brings his bishop over to c3, attacking the rook and putting pressure on the g7 pawn. However, the position is now completely lost for Lasker. So feel free to pause the video and win this game for Lasker while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, there are actually two checkmating patterns happening here, and both of them are a forced checkmate in 3 sequence. So we're gonna first show the one that did not happen in this game, and that's knight to g4 check. So congratulations to everyone who found that. Now of course you cannot capture, you have to go back, king to h2, and now a nice queen sacrifice, queen captures on h3 with check. Only move is the bishop has to capture the queen, because this bishop covers the g1 square, captures, and then rook to h2 is of course checkmate. Again, bishop covers g1, the king has nowhere to go. So this is one thing that could have happened after this idea, but after bishop to c3, Polner actually played queen captures on h3 right away, which is definitely more beautiful, as it sacrifices the queen not once but twice, because now of course you either capture and then we get the exact same checkmate that we saw, knight g4 check, king h1, and rook to h2 checkmate. Or we see the one we still haven't seen, queen captures on h3, bishop actually captures the queen, so we just showed that one, king to g1, and now comes the second pattern, queen to h1 check, another offer of the queen, and this one you simply cannot decline. So bishop captures on h1 has to be played, and now a beautiful discovery, knight to h3, a double check, which also means checkmate. The king has nowhere to go, the rook controls the entire second rank, and it's definitely one of the most beautiful games ever played, as it is against a future world champion, against a fairly unknown gentleman, Sergey Ivanovich Polner. So a few more words about Sergey. Like I said, I will put a link in the description below so you can read a lot more about him, as he does appear to be very strong. So Sergey Ivanovich, although still very young, has long been considered one of the best Russian players. Caution and correctness of the game, sometimes not devoid of wit, are the distinctive properties of his style. With more time spent on studying the theory of the game, Polner will undoubtedly strengthen even more and can become a worthy rival of the first chess luminaries of all countries. At the same time, when a new rival to the still undeniable champion of Russia, Mikhail Ivanovich Chigorin, is growing in his homeland, the latter has to fight again overseas in distant Havana against Wilhelm Steinitz, as you know, who challenged Steinitz some 3 years after this game was played. But yeah, it's very interesting that at the time that someone else was the strongest player in Russia, Mr. Polner here crushes Emanuel Lasker like this. So I thought it was very impressive, and I thought you guys would enjoy such a game. So let's just see that one more time, as it's not something we see every day. So bishop c3, perfectly normal move, and then comes queen captures on h3, just amazing stuff. King g1, queen h1 check, it's forced, bishop captures, and knight to g4, sorry, knight to h3, a beautiful discovery. Now it has to be a double check. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I was really happy when I found this game again, as like I said, I was familiar with this game. I knew the final position, the combination that leads to this, but I never knew anything about Polner here. So I'm very happy that I learned a little bit about him. And if you guys are interested in that, like I said, the first link in the description below. So I would like to thank Wiseman, Francois Yon, Jason Bowerman, Scott Christiansen, and Rohan Tana for contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the Morphy saga, checking up on your wonderful suggestions, and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.